Hey guys, it is Rachel Feldman here at the Healthy Hustle Podcast. I am so pumped. You guys know how excited I get when I have my good friends here with me. And today is Jana. Jana Shorten is an amazing influencer herself. She built her oil business in a very different way than most of us approach business. She helped people to understand her life, connect, and truly brought them into her home. Today, she not only rocks a very healthy essential oil business, which means profits and connection and customer life cycle, people still coming back, but she now teaches that to influencers, whether it's nutrition, mindset, hormone coaches, fitness, essential oil junkies like us, and more. So please welcome Jana. Jana, tell me a little about where you are today and how you got here.
Well, first of all, thank you, Rachel. I'm so excited to be here. And I got here through an illness. I'm an interior designer. It's what I've done all my life. And I was very successful at it. But then an illness knocked me off my feet. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you can relate to that. Something not you that you planned on, and it just happened. But this illness was so devastating that after 2 months in the hospital, I was literally sent home to die. I was given absolutely no hope. And I was wasting away. I was malnourished. So my hair was falling out. My nails fell out. And I did not want to die in the hospital. So I begged the doctor to let me go home. And when I came home, I had a brand new 7-month-old grandson. And I was so excited. But as I held him, it occurred to me that he would have no memories of me. Like there was no way he was going to remember anything about me. And I went on a quest to create memories with him and to find some sort of natural solution because I already knew that pharmaceuticals had failed me. My husband is a veterinarian. All he knows is pharmaceuticals. My ex is an internist. All he knew were pharmaceuticals. So I thought, well, if they can't help, then maybe there's something. And so as I'm sick, like how magical is the internet, right? You can sit anywhere at your computer, on your phone, and from your sick bed because you're too sick to get up.
Yeah.
And literally, remember the yellow pages?
Well, even when you say this, I'm thinking like, I don't even think my kids, I tried to explain to them, we didn't have Google, we didn't have the internet. And she was like, wait, where did you find things? And I was like, in a phone book or the library. And she was like, what's a phone book? So anyway, without going into a whole story, it's just shocking to me when I think being an influencer, even at the time when you're talking about this story and looking for information, we really had to dive deep and we really had to be so empowered. And I think it's even the same these days when you're looking for somebody you can trust. And clearly you found that solution back then. And so what even led you into saying, oh my God, this is my why. This is not only my own health, my own life, my loved ones, my kids, but here's this little baby. What propelled you to say, I'm going to figure out how to make this a business?
After I started getting healthy, people, if you guys could see my before and after picture, it would floor you. You would not recognize me. But so it was obvious that something had changed in my life, and people kept coming to me like, what are you doing? What's going on? And of course I found an essential oil that helped me. By the way, there's many things. It wasn't just an essential oil. I did not cure myself. My stomach did not grow back. I still have the same issues, but I have now an amazing quality of life. And I started sharing this, being very authentic with my story and what was going on. And I started building this business just by my story. And I didn't want to build a business. Who wants to build an MLM? I mean, some people do, but I wasn't. That was beneath me. I was a famous interior designer, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't stop sharing my story and educating myself more to where I became a health coach and then a mindset coach. And I just kept wanting to share like holistic options for people. And so I rolled into this new business. But here's the thing. When I went online and started getting clients, I ran into the exact same thing that I was when I was sick. People distrusting me. They had already been online and tried to be sold all these products. And nobody really listened to their story. Nobody connected with them. They just jumped into buy my product. And that never works. It only works with maybe people who already know you and
Yeah.
have that relationship with you are people you're begging to do it and they just want you off their back. And those really aren't the type of people that you want to help. You want to help people who are ready to help, who can connect with you. You're just so much more successful. And all of a sudden, this business started growing. And when I realized that I wasn't the only health expert that was having this problem, I started looking for other health experts that were real geniuses in their area, that understand the importance of not pitching to their clients and being very authentic with their story and connecting. And I started giving them this incredible platform. And we've created, we have a magazine now for bloggers called Best Holistic Life. We have a new magazine that goes out, that's Best Holistic Life magazine, that goes out every quarter. We have the podcast. We have all these platforms, and it really exploded because there was a need for it. Have you ever gone online? I know, Rachel, you probably have, whenever you're Googling for anything, and a million things pop out. And of course, the ones that have paid for the space up front come up first. And there's millions of them. And all of a sudden you're like, I have no idea. This is a lot of research. And all I wanted to do was buy a supplement. And so it's really hard to find out who those experts are and what works best for you.
And also and I think the biggest thing that I always see that I really have, that I love about you, and it's the same thing that in the same way that I show up, which is why I even want to back up, because I think too often anybody in the health and wellness industry, whether it's an MLM company, it's a chiropractor, it's functional medicine, it's raw, it's fitness, it's nutrition, all these different areas, all these different modalities of helping people, and the niche and the sub niche, we get so lost in, I'm going to have this funnel, or I'm going to just do what my company says I should do, or I'm going to just do what X is doing. I want to even go back to the most basic. When you said, I want to share this, and you even said, I started to share my story and people started to contact me. Many people like you do this intuitively. And many people have an easy time, as you said, not just sign up for this. I call it the right hook, like Gary Vee says, sign up, come to this. But when you start sharing from a place of attraction marketing, and you start thinking about how to connect with people and how to help them also connect the dots in their health roadmap, very similar to their business roadmap, how did you arrive at this? We could call it a strategy, but really it's just you sharing from your heart, because you didn't want somebody to walk down that path, to feel that pain, to have the hurt. Tell us and kind of walk us back to that time, because that will explode exactly into what you do today.
Well, I honestly did not share my story for the first 2 years. I'm old school. I was raised, nobody cares. You keep that stuff at home. And I felt weak because I was sick. It wasn't until I was asked to speak on stage, and I begrudgingly said yes. And there was probably 5,000 people there. And I got on and I was shaking, I was sweating. I couldn't look anyone in the eye because I thought they were judging me for being sick. And I got emotional, because it's emotional when you are sharing almost dying and your desire to make a memory with your grandchild, right? And when I walked off stage, my legs were shaking. I remember them shaking so bad. And I just wanted to get out. I didn't want to look anyone in the eye. I'm never doing this again. And as I'm leaving
we all say.
I know, I'm done.
I'm so glad you said that, which is why I love you. I mean, one, you wear Adidas all the time, so I love you anyway. But you're sharing the behind the scenes, which not many people talk about. And I love that you're like, I was scared. I didn't know if I could do this. My legs were shaking. And when I came off, and that's the part I think a lot of people don't allow themselves to get to. And I just really love that you shared that, because somebody's like, oh, but Jana, and they make up all these stories that just comes intuitively, when it's not. It's that we were provided an opportunity. We say yes, we show up, and we go, okay, so I think I almost died, but I can do this. So now what's another thing that I can do where I can really share this? Is that what happened with you?
Well, when I got off stage, I remember the lady directing everyone off stage. I was just trying to get away. I wanted to go home. And she stopped me. And my remark to her was, aren't we done? Are you not done with me? And she's like, there's a line of people waiting to greet you and wait for you. And I had to look people in the face. And I thought they were going to judge my story. But what happened was there had to be 200 or 300 people in this line, and they were in tears, and they were saying, oh my gosh, I have someone, or I know someone, or it was, I realized then that what was different about me and everyone else using essential oils was my unique story, which was the same with all of you. Your unique story is what makes you shine. And the minute you share that and touch lives, the blessings that you receive back are like immeasurable. They're just so incredible. And I knew right then I have to share my story and get past this thing in my head that says I'm ashamed of being sick, or I don't want people to judge me. I just let it go and was very authentic in the moment, telling my story. And now you can't shut me up.
But I love, sometimes I always say it's these epiphanies because we've put ourselves out there, and that's exactly what you teach influencers today, which is why I always come to you when I'm referring a client, when I'm referring somebody, and say, you have to follow this woman. If you don't hire her, watch how she shows up, because in that showing up, it is that aha moment where sometimes we couldn't even pay somebody to give us that aha moment. We have to show up, do the work, realize, wow, I just touched all these people's lives, and like put that in our emotional cash register that replaces the old story. Correct?
Correct.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I think you like literally hit the nail on the head.
And I know that's what you teach all of your clients, like show up. Just flatter me even for just 2 minutes. Before we had the age of platforms and digital marketing and, oh my God, my Instagram profile, even though we're at, I think, the 10-year mark of Instagram being out there, but you and I both were building a business when Instagram and Periscope and all these opportunities to be, Twitter Live even was at that point where they were just breaking into the market. So when you talk about building your business, tell us even what were the areas that you showed up even before the digital market was crazy, or did you always show up in the digital space?
I pretty much always showed up in the digital space. I do 4-year public speaking because I love those venues, but I'm global. So I feel like I would rather go live and reach out to hundreds of thousands of people in such a quick moment. So I mostly do that. But what I do in the digital space is I walk the talk. And I literally spend my morning, and I call it my gratitude hour. I get up early, I get on Instagram, and I look at people who've liked, not even commented. And I will send them a voice message. Hey, thank you for showing my page some love. I just went to your page. I didn't realize I wasn't even following you. It's awesome. Keep up the good work. Do you know I have created so many clients and friends and connections just by being human and showing gratitude for them, sharing alike? So now I'll tell you a funny little joke. I have a grandson who is 14.
You're like, I just dated myself, but you know what, guys, please understand that shows sustainability. That shows the very things that Jana just said. Even before we go into this, I want you guys to like pause, go back through this and pull out what I call these really special nuggets that she's sharing about how you can make connection. Whether you're in a speaking event to leading people to your signature video series or your workshop or your program or your high ticket, it's the same strategies that she uses when she's online. I hear many of you say, I don't have time. That's not correct. You're not making time to connect with people, which is everything that successful coaches across the world do. So hit us with your amazing story about now your 14-year-old grandson.
So my 14-year-old grandson, because they're all they're raised in the social media era, right? I wasn't. It took me, I had to learn everything. And to this day, most of the stuff I managed to get done is totally by mistake, but I get it done. But I know that he was with some friends at school and he was talking about me while I was there. It was some play or something. And I heard him telling my Nana has 35,000 followers on Instagram and she's old. So if an old person could do it, like, why aren't you? You're not him. It was so cute.
And I will guarantee just from starting this business, I mean, I was in commercial real estate before, but that was like back in the day where you didn't even need to have a website. I mean, it was like just very different. Or if you did, it was not like they are today. It was just, this is who I am. This is where to contact me. But we've gone into a different time, and to really, which is what you teach and what I always say, how are you going to stand out from the crowd? And so right away, you created a habit that literally has revolutionized not only your own business, your own mission, but has really created a roadmap for anyone in the health and wellness space, let alone anyone in business, on one simple strategy that sets you apart, that will continue to give you the same success because you take that time.
I do take that time. And I want to say one thing about influencers. Everyone that comes to me wants to be an influencer. If you have 20 people following you, you are an influencer. And if you are just looking for numbers, I'm totally not the person for you to work with, because you should be treating each person, whether it's 20 or 200,000 or 2 million, like they're your only person. You're speaking to them like they matter. And that's how you grow. So, and here's the other thing that's super important. If you're an influencer, you have to remember how much responsibility comes with that.
Yeah.
You kind of have to leave your opinions, even though you want to be authentic, at the back door. So it's very hard for me to not comment on politics, even if it's a positive comment, because not everybody's going to think that it's positive. But I do get my opinion out when I go to the polls, right? I don't get into that. I don't engage in that conversation online. I stay in health and wellness. I stay in being positive. So when you become an influencer, again, it comes with so much responsibility. I can't go online and say, my husband was a real butthead today, and oh my gosh.
No, you go into solution-based. I always say Facebook and Instagram and social media isn't your personal diary. Find your friends to do that. If you're having a problem with your significant other, guess what? Hire somebody or have a good friend to talk that out, to share the problem. Like, hey, we were going through this, like everyone in the world. And sometimes things can be tough, in relationships. This is what we did to get through it. Or, hey, I'm in the struggle of it right now. I'm going to hit you back. Stay with me through this journey so I can share what I found. And I think that you do it, I know that you do that so beautifully, because you shared a few things. And again, in really powerhouse talks, like what you're providing, sometimes it can be hard to pull out the nugget. And things that I heard was, really, to be an influencer, you have to let go of judging yourself, step one, being fearful that other people are going to judge you, because guess what? Once you step into, I'm an influencer, you really got to let go of that. Otherwise, you will find yourself, and tell me the strategies that you help not only yourself, but your ideal client, people who want to be influencers. You have to truly let go of that and say, I am going to find the good in this, where I'm going to share my opinion to open up eyes. You really have to say, I'm going to leave all of that behind me. What are some things that you even do daily to say, that's it, I'm going to show up and be my best self, and I'm going to share this way that I solved it? How do you step into that role without going, oh my God, what are people going to think? And all the stuff that we all have. I call it the negative Nancy's, negative Nellies. How do you step through that?
I do my morning of gratitude, my hour morning of gratitude. That makes me feel good and puts me in a giving mood. Like, it puts me in the right frame of mind. But I will tell you, if you're going to be an influencer, and I'm sure you know this, Rachel, because you're a huge influencer, you better get some thick skin. Not everybody is going to love you. And I can tell you, as early as last year, as recently as last year, my husband found me curled in our closet, crying on the floor because of something someone said. And it wasn't what he said to me. It was more like that I could have done better. How could I do better next time? And really show up. And so whenever someone gives me a negative now, I always say, thank you. Thank you so much for being honest with me and sharing that piece of information. I can always do better. That usually turns them immediately into a friend and a follower of mine. So I always, and I can, that nothing I said was not authentic or true. I can always do better. And if they are really feeling that, maybe they shouldn't have posted it and they could have come to me directly, but not everybody knows, etiquette online. And it's their total right to say that, but addressing it by saying, thank you so much for bringing that to my attention. he's definitely legit in what he feels, right? He should not have to justify it to me. I never engage in negativity. I immediately will say, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you bringing that to my attention. And in the future, I can always do better. Please help me. How can I do better for you? And that immediately justifies that they have a voice. I heard them, and I would love to do better. And so you do have to get a thick skin, because it literally took me a week to bounce back from that. A week.
I remember there were some, and I'm just, again, feel so grateful that you're sharing this, because people would always say to me, oh, you're so tough, or you just let things roll off. You don't care about anyone. And I would always say, actually, I'm the opposite. I care so much. I take things personally. I'm a feeler. Like, hello. And I had to really work on those push-ups. Yes, I'm vocal. I know what I like. I know what I don't like. And I'm vocal in those areas. And that's what has helped me to build really the story behind why I do this. And that's what I hear a lot of you saying today, like, this is my why. This is why I really help people. This is why I share it. But it forced me to work on situations where somebody would be saying things, which I think a lot of us, some people call it haters. I hate to use that word, because I always say there are actually sometimes little miracles that are saying, hey, this is how a person's looking at, how can you not take this personally? Because there were times where I was hysterically crying in a room saying, I'm done, no more digital, I'm going back to real estate, I can't handle this. And it's how we deal with that that makes us stronger and able to really share, how do you become an influencer? Not just, here's a podcast, here's a this, and we're going to get to that right next on all the ways that you suggest to share. But how do you deal with prepping yourself to be that influencer 24/7 days a week, 24 hours, 7 days a week?
Honestly, I just take one day at a time. Because here's the truth of the matter. If you're an influencer and you're massive and you got sick for 2 weeks and you were gone, people's memories are gone. They forget about you. They're on to the next. So you just have to continually show up every single day, do what you know is right, share your message. A few things that if you're going to be a good influencer, a successful one, you have to have a powerful story. You have to be authentic when you're sharing. You have to be focused on your niche. And one of the things that is super funny when I work with people, they're all over the place, especially like if they're in nutrition, for instance. I'm in nutrition, I can help the world. Of course, good nutrition could help the world, but you're confusing. You have like this bottleneck of people. My daughter uses a really good terminology. It's like you're throwing out breadcrumbs, right? And hoping that a certain group will come towards you. That never happens. What happens is you have like a scene from the birds and all these people come in on you, and that's not what you want. But if you leave a nice little trail of breadcrumbs leading to your niche, you become this amazing expert where all these people start filtering to you. So you really need to know what that is. And everything you say and do on social media when you're building your business should lead back to that, right? So you don't want to go off, if let's say your niche is infertility, and you don't want to go off and talking about dental care unless it has to do with infertility.
You relate it back to infertility.
Right.
And I love that thing of all the birds swarming. All the birds can swarm, but you, in your list building strategy, in figuring out how you want to show up, all the birds can swarm, but start then niching them down to the very, either by a question or a quiz, so that they understand, oh, this person is talking general, but they really do help women who are completely addicted to sugar and have X issue, and really start drilling down on the topics, even though you want to bring everything to what you're known for, on these little like subtopics that still bring people back to you. Is that how you teach?
Absolutely, it is how I teach. And I feel like they think they're shutting out all these possibilities, but when you're an expert in a very specific area, it opens the doors for you. You become that voice, but you can't be that voice if you're all over the place. So it's exactly what I teach.
Well, and even before we were recording, I said to you, I love that we're talking about how to not just be this pitch person, like, come to this, join this, but really how to share your experience and share what you're known for. And right away I said to you, whenever I think your name, I think, oh yeah, she talks about oils all the time, holistic steps, practices, little tools and tricks, not just oils, but all of these holistic support tools, and essential oils with doTERRA happens to be the one that you really feel like is your baby, but you still have all these other cool techniques that you share. So people say, wow, I'm going to definitely go to Jana. Like when she shares, she's sharing all these cool things. She really is this expert.
Well, one of the things I don't do with doTERRA, which has made it work so beautifully, is we literally just talked about this. doTERRA has done an amazing job marketing themselves. People know who they are. They're the #1 oil business in the world right now. And yay for them. They did a great job. I don't need to keep marketing them. I don't need to keep showing my bottle of oil or showing me using my bottle of oil. The minute you start doing that, some of your market is going to get cold because they think you're going to sell to them. But you're like, no, I just want to help you. Then put out the help first, not the product first. A product is a tool in your bag, right? And I have multiple tools in my bag, but I don't put all those tools out there because I am going to not be able to build that rapport and trust with them if I go directly to a sales pitch. So when you put out, Rachel, you're so good about this. When you put out a special that you're running, Rachel like leads into it. She shows you the need, like, oh, I need that. She shows you a solution, like, oh, and you could do this if you had this. And then she like gets you to that point, and she does it personally. So it's not just a thing. I just zoomed through those ads. There's so many of them. And if you're posting your special, I don't care if you're the best expert in the world, nobody's seeing it because there's so many of them. You need to have a personality behind it. Someone needs to connect to your story, to who you are, what you're offering, and be like, I want that too. We talk all the time about McDonald's, right? And I'm not bashing McDonald's.
No, McDonald's, we like you, but we actually really don't. So it is my podcast and I can say that.
Yes. So on McDonald's, how many of you think they have a really good, healthy food? They don't. And how many of you actually have taken your kids and fed them McDonald's,
I
right?
think that the plant-based soy burger is actually healthy when it's not.
Agreed.
And I think, even if we go back to what you said about, like, I love when you said so many of my influencers will say, well, I mean, if I'm not feeling good, a great thing of, let's just even say essential oils. Why not consistently show them? We all have dealt with health issues, or maybe somebody in our family has digestive issues, or there's a cold. Why not show them how you use your oils? You may feel like crap. Doesn't have to be a lot. Just like what you teach your influencers, you might, yes, have to cancel the podcast or the summit, or you can't show up for be the main speaker. But what if you actually explain to people that story of what are you doing when you're sick? How are you doing to get yourself so that doesn't happen again? That's what you were saying about sharing your story, is that you're taking them through these many steps of, wow, I really identify with this story that she was saying about feeling off right before she'd go in this meeting. This is what she did. She used grapefruit oil and she sat there. And so you show somebody, it's not about, this is the one I have all the time next to me. And I actually swoop it around my car as my air freshener. I'm like, hold on guys, it's nasty in here. And they're like, no, it's not. I'm like, I love good smell. And good essential oils that do things for us emotionally. It's in that exact process that take me even through, what would be your suggestion to somebody either working with you, or they're like, wait, but what do you mean, Jana, by showing that story with the essential oils? Because I think this ties directly into exactly what you do. You always say, you've got to be on podcasts. Your influencers are in your magazine. They know you're going to take them in the steps that have been proven for what you have done with your business and also what you teach. But let's even take that little experience and say, if I was following you and getting tips, how would you suggest to the people either working with you or somebody potentially wanting, how could they take that story and evolve it into a freebie, a little mini series, the summit that they're going on? How can they share those things, no matter what it is they're leading, no matter what their niche is, to take that as a template?
So again, it's kind of like the McDonald's. You go there because of the feeling, right? They didn't promote good food. They've never said they had healthy food, but we go there because of the feeling around it. It's family. Moms, we got you if you can't cook tonight. You can bring your kids here. There's a playground. We got kiddie meals. And it was all about a feeling. So you're going to create a feeling around your niche. that's directly out of your storyline. So for instance, my freebie might be for essential oils. I almost died, how I healed my gut. 10 tricks I used, right? And it would be essential oil tricks for helping digest food, helping with, I don't know, relaxation, helping me to sleep at night. So it could be tips like that. And then I can incorporate the essential oils into a freebie gift so people are learning more on how to use it. And if I gave you a bottle of peppermint for indigestion, which is my very first oil I used, and I said, here, this is yours, it's a gift, and I just let it go at that with no education, they would think that that was only for digestion. They would not have any idea the million ways I use peppermint oil. I use peppermint oil to get rid of insects. I use peppermint oil for energy, for digestion, for if I'm having to go speaking, I put a couple drops just to give me a, woo, I'm awake. Yeah, I use it for allergies, I use it for so many things, but I use it in my house for cleaning. Like I use it in cooking, million different ways. If I keep educating that, you become a user for life. You don't just think that that peppermint oil is only going to help me with digestion as I'm eating and I'm done with it, right? So I was so into educating people on the million of different ways you can use something that's not going to cause you any harm, that's holistically, a comfortable thing for you to share with your children. How empowering is it for your kids if they get a boo-boo to roll something on it that that's going to help them, and them knowing, can I have the little blue bottle, or whatever it is. I love when my grandkids would ask me, can you put some of the lavender on my feet?
Or can
And I just love that.
in the little bottle? I think even without us going in, because seriously, this could be like a 10-part series, because this is the nuts and bolts of building any business, I think, and especially in the health and wellness. We often forget that it really is attraction marketing. That's why I think when we are taught in network marketing, it gives us such amazing fuel for this really is everything. Because what you just said is, you identify the problem, you start sharing it. You start sharing all these aspects of your life, how you use it, the 10 different ways. And as you were talking, I was like, that could be a list builder, step one. That could lead them into a free group with all these little videos in the unit section, or lead them into a teaching series. And then they are going to come back, because while everyone else is going, guys, peppermint is really great for your digestion, put 2 drops on your belly, you're telling the whole story. You're like, hey guys, when you roll with me, when you sign up with me, when you attend this just live, or this thing that I'm doing on IGTV, or whatever it is, wherever it is, you become a resource of knowledge, which is just what you said. When I think, and you and I have talked, privately off camera so many times, is that we've gone into this place where it's funnel. And really funnels, as you and I discussed before we recorded, is to date. It's a conversation. That's a connection. So when I go back and think about all the things you said, you really laid the roadmap. And for any coach, it's like, but wait, what? What is the roadmap? Re-listen, because everything in this conversation, from her story to how she showed up, to how she infuses it, to how she shows, that's social media, blog, list builders, your entire funnel of where you're going to lead them. So I'm so grateful that you shared your personal story and how it really built a platform that you created intuitively. Some people just have a tough time. It's not a smart or not smart thing. It's just how our brains are, and how many of our stories in life and our habits have shaped how we connect, how we communicate. So I'm just so grateful. So grateful, Jana. Seriously.
Thank you.
If you can give anybody this, like, I always say Pippi Longstocking kind of, like, I wish I would have known this. This would have been a step that would have just saved some troubleshooting. What would that be for anyone that says, you had me at hello, lady. Yes, I totally identify with your story. McDonald's, how can I really be that influencer in the way that just feels so authentic? What would you want to say to everyone?
When I work with influencers, when I take 20 clients each quarter, when I work with them the first 2 weeks, they have nothing but building their story. Like they write, they cry, they laugh, they share, they're authentic. They break through bounds with things they didn't want to share, of the ugliness and the joy. It's hard to celebrate when you don't know what the process was. So I would totally say, really dig into your story. That's what makes you unique. That's what makes you different and stand out. If you went to a gym and you were hiring an expert trainer, right? And you walk in and there's a big buff guy that he can hardly put his arms down. You know he's a good trainer. And then there's another one sitting on their cell phone, maybe a little pudgy, not out of shape.
We're not saying this bad.
Yeah, still a great trainer, still really awesome. And then you see the girl on the treadmill. She's a trainer and she's got all this energy and she's perky. Who are you going to pick? Somebody might want that big buff body. They're going there. Somebody might, oh, I don't want to get hurt. I'm taking the guy on the phone. Not me. I see the girl with the energy, right? So you attract people from your story and the energy you put out there. You attract your tribe with what you put out there. I mean, I hear that all the time and it's very true.
Right. Your tribe, your vibe equals, isn't it that like your vibe is your tribe?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not good at those one-liners, but anyway.
It's really the truth. So your vibe through your story and how you put it out there and share and being authentic is who you're going to attract back to you.
Well, and I think even in partnership, and I think this is such a beautiful way to end this. And of course, we're going to tell everyone where to find you. But remember, in the show notes, there's going to be all of Jana's information, everything. Is that too often we're like, oh, I really want to support another person, or I want to find somebody, or I really want a JV, joint venture, for everyone who doesn't know JV. And it's exactly how I felt when I first talked to her. I was like, I really just love her. And I hadn't even fully had a conversation, but it was everything that I felt in your posts, the things that are my why, my energy, my vitality coming out of the story of being sick and never wanting that for anyone. I felt that even before we got on the phone or Zoom or on this podcast, I felt that and I was instantly attracted to you. And then I felt more connected by hearing more of your journey, more of your story. And that's such a testament to how much your social media, your interviews, your podcasts, your blogs, really speak who we are. So that somebody doesn't get on the phone and go, oh, you sounded this way here, but you're really not this way. So I just applaud you for showing up in that way and really sharing exactly what has worked for you. Can you tell every person how to find you and where to find you?
Absolutely. You can go to my personal website, which is just janashort.com. Or you can go to our blogging site, which is bestholisticlife.com. And if you go to bestholisticlife.com, there's a free offer for you there. It's about blogging. If you're an expert and you are not blogging, you are really doing yourself a disservice because it's all about educating, getting your story out there, and it's evergreen. So if 5 years later am typing in toothpaste whitener that I can make at home, a DIY, your article is going to pop up about it. So you want to be blogging. You want to be blogging on multiple sites. So you can go there and get the free blogging offer. They'll talk you through how you develop a blog and where you post it. And yeah, I think you're going to love that.
And guys, please, everything that Jana said, and this is such a really good tool, no matter how much you're making, how much you want to leverage, you have to nail down the basics. If you can nail down the basics, which many do not, they go for the quick fix, just like we're all like, no, the antibiotics, not that they're not necessary at times, but if you know the basics, you've got your toolbox, you probably won't go and have to get them that year or maybe 5 or even longer. And what Jana's saying is blogging has to be part of it. Showing up, all the things that she shared today are basics. Don't overlook the basic. Don't fall for the magic pill, the magic cure. It just doesn't exist. You want to share your toolbox, build trust, and bring them home to the mini solution, which is calling you, connecting with you, all the things we talked about today. So please stalk this woman. Listen to the people that she works with. See how she shares with them the strategies and tools to show up and really learn from that. And then, of course, stalk Jana because she's got great information. And with that being said, guys, we're going to peace out. Thank you so much for taking time out. And guys, we will see you on the flip side. Bye, guys.